All right, let's get started. Good morning. Well, things were pretty quiet yesterday. If they got any more quiet, I would have thought it was a holiday. Anyway, just chop back and forth. Yesterday, I mentioned, they call them commission generator days. Markets look like they're going to go up and then they don't. They look like they're going to go down and they don't. And they look like they're going to go up and they don't. And back and forth it went through the day. So that was part of the bias yesterday pre-market was for an inside day because the prior day was a wider range day. And some markets came back better than others. The Qs came back better than the Russell or the transports, and the S&Ps were a little bit more neutral, but came back as well. And now we've got this narrow range day yesterday, extremely narrow range day. And what's happening here is that markets, obviously, they're consolidating at resistance. And at the end of the week, I think, possibly before, we'll see whether we get the first red bar on the weekly time frame, or does this actually turn into a bottoming tail bar? And that would be a big wow if it closed above the open and near the high. And that would have to suggest, well, it does suggest, but it seems unbelievable at this point, would a run like this to get a bottoming tail bar that would then push higher up to the all-time highs. But nonetheless, if the bar closes that way, that's what it would suggest. It would also open up the door to one of the greatest shocks of all time, or a gap below that. And none of us know what's going to happen one way or the other. But at the end of the week, we'll see where prices are in relation to this weekly range, and whether today the markets are holding up. You can see the spiders here kind of inching higher as I speak, and not near yesterday's high, but essentially just another inside trading range for the moment. We'll see how things shape up. That's what we do. But here was the collapse that past day, let's just call it a little mini intraday crash that got extended, and then the consolidation. So we'll see. Today will be an opportunity for the markets or bears to take control again and roll it back over. The longer that they don't, the greater the probability that they're going to lose control, and opens up the door to this market going up. So we've got a daily trend. It's trending up. It's consolidating. For the moment, we've got a big red bar, relatively big red bar. Ignored. It's a big range bar. And the longer it can hold here, the greater the odds of it breaking higher. So we'll just see which way it's going to go. We'll see how the day unfolds. There isn't much news here. It's China this, China that lately, but no China today. And so I guess the market really doesn't have much to trade off of for the moment. Anyway, one thing I noticed we talked about yesterday in the room was General Electric inching lower, and the downgrade down to 666. And I had asked in the room, was it the fella from JP Morgan that said that? And I read this morning that yes, it was. And he said that was a generous view. Was like, wow. So I think, look, that guy's been spot on about General Electric. So definitely we all have to respect his opinion on that, and we'll see where it goes. But, with that in mind, it would seem that General Electric is what I'd call a short bait opportunity to go lower. So we'll see where that goes. All right. So Qs and that bottoming tail bar, right, from the big sell-off day. And, we'll see. Right now it's just a little tiny narrow range day. We'll see where it's going. I mean, last week was that, candlestick terms called a hangman, where it gapped up and dipped down and came back up again. And the theory is that, the stalling momentum, it's supposed to go down. Well, it isn't going down yet. It's still holding last week's low. And we'll see what happens over the next 3 days. So we're basically, in a wait and see kind of mode here, finding some opportunities. And amazingly, Facebook looks pretty damn good, in the weekly and daily time frame. And I can throw it up here. I don't know if Dan was going to cover it, but in a market that went nowhere and then a market that went down, and look at this weekly chart. As long as this doesn't fail at this high, this thing's got open air to run higher. So pretty impressive. And so we shall see. All right, Russell, that is on the edge of breaking lower. And I have to view that as a crack in the armor and a concern as to, I see the Qs looking like they could go up. Facebook looks great. Google looks great. Amazon coming up to the top of its range. Apple is, kind of teetering there, but still looks okay. But if this starts to break down, it's got to get the attention of the broader markets. And you see what the transports are doing here. Obviously something's not right, even though other things looks very right. So we be objective, keep an eye on our internals, our intermarket analysis to see where things go here. So let's say, for example, this transports pull back to this level here, this minor support level, and the Qs are still going sideways and the SPs are going sideways. Well, buyers begin to step up here on the transports because of where it is technically, and that could line up where the markets actually push up. So at this point, is like transports going down, Russell's getting weaker. Can the Qs and spiders show relative strength while this is dropping back? And if they do, well, when this reaches a technical point where buyers are going to step up, that could lead to the market going higher. But we'll see whether this is going to pull it down or not. And so, all right, diamonds, same story, more or less. We're a big bar to the downside, inside bar, and this is more bearish than the others. So this is in the lower 25%. So it opens up for a 1, 2, 3 to the downside. It's not doing much of anything this morning. So what we're looking for today, and with most, I guess all markets pretty much, is does it break yesterday's low or does it break yesterday's high as an indication as to which way prices might go, at least today. Futures, you can see 24-hour chart just going absolutely nowhere. Things are, brakes are on, stalled here, waiting for something to happen. And Qs can look the best. They do. They look like they can go higher. They made attempts to do it yesterday and failed. So we'll see if today's the day, one way or the other. And there's your Dow futures doing Zippo, but kind of inching up here, probably, other markets starting to move higher. Well, that it's got to move higher too, because just sellers just step away. It's intelligent. Bonds up a little bit, but they've cracked the bottom of this base, and that's bearish, which means yields are moving higher because it's inverse. And this should set up a sell setup here. And gold trying to hold this next major support level. So when it violated this major support, the selling picked up, and this is typical what happens when you break one level of support, it goes to the next level of support, and that's where buyers give it another try. So this is something to keep in mind when you have, you're thinking about selling below a level, and this isn't a good breakout pattern, of course, and a breakdown pattern or breakout patterns. When your next level of reference point is close at hand, you're likely to get whipsawed versus is there room for it to drop. So this had a decent room to drop, not huge, not what we call a big price void or open air, but it dropped down to the next level. And prices just move between reference points of support and resistance. not trend lines, not fib lines, not channels, Bollinger Bands. All of that stuff is just subjective. And this is what the big money's trading off of. That next level, that's where their bids are going to be if they're bullish. And here we got gold still in an uptrend, but on the verge of possibly breaking that if it breaks down below this swing low here. Now, we'll be talking about exactly this subject in MT Live today at 12 o'clock. I'll drop that link in YouTube, but if you guys just want to hang in YouTube, those of you that are there, you can, of course. What's your short entry signal of an MA? Mike, we don't use short entry signals I think you're saying of a moving average, right? So moving averages are subjective as well. We use violations of support and then sell retracements or failure patterns like M tops, W bottoms. Just the break of a moving average isn't a signal to do anything. I was answering that on YouTube, those of you in the green room. And oil, just quiet here. Everything's quiet, just waiting for some news or, maybe the China deal to be signed so markets can sell on the news, and maybe everybody's waiting for that. So, that's where things are at right now, is in a wait and see mode, not much going on. And you currency traders, you see this euro is just a big giant mess of whipping back and forth. And I just read there was selling beginning in the Aussie futures here, unexpected slower growth. And so if slower growth there, the webinar I did yesterday at Festival of Traders, one of the presenters there was big on talking about how China's economy is doing so terrible. And to take notice of that, and maybe that's what was going to really smash this market. Who knows? But some of those Chinese stocks don't seem to care about what's slowing down there in any event. So we've got some news that suggesting that the market could pull back. Markets are at resistance, but the markets are just saying, I don't know, maybe not. So they're quiet here. I think a little bit too quiet. But the old market saying is don't short a quiet market or a dull market. So we'll see if that actually plays out. That's it for me. All yours, Dan.
All right, thanks. Good morning. Yeah, there's going to be a little more noise here than usual. Got some new doors being put in, but we'll just chug through it. Hey, G, how you doing? All right, let's look at opens. As I said, IYT, we put in our ETF letter. That looks great. Apple, we have a covered call and a put spread hit for the weekly yesterday. LRCX, we're short stock and a call spread. Newell, we're just trailing stops here. We're short stock. CVX put spread for Friday. MRO long stock. FISB long stock. CGC, I know I'm watching this one, another pot stock, but Cron, we did a put spread yesterday into the close. I'll be watching that for a directional. If we get a 1, 2, 3 setup today, then tomorrow, that will be perfect. ITA, we did a bear call spread yesterday. Zawo here is gapping over our stop. So I just posted a few minutes ago. We'll use the stop of the 5-minute high and or this pre-market high. But look, that's a bullish gap over all of over this breakdown. So we just have to manage it accordingly. pain, we're long stock. I need to tighten the stop on that. BVV did not trigger short. You know, I'll probably give it one more day here, and if it, you know, doesn't get weak, then J and J, we didn't trigger. I see that gapping up a little bit, but I kept it on my list. And you know, I mentioned we have a spider call spread for Friday, and I tightened the stop yesterday. In fact, I'm going to tighten it a little more right now. Yeah, give me a second. I'm just updating this stop here, and I'm, you know, I muted it because I got this little bit of a noise going on here. And let's look at Capras now. All right, there we go. Gap 167, gapping halfway into this. No trade there. 172.50. This is a nasty bear island reversal. It's leaving this guy up here all by himself. Let's watch that. That would be a no-brainer call spread if we can get any juice. A little guy here, 720, no entry, but wow, something got that going. Yeah, hey George, Zawa, we talked about QQT up and down the bearish gap deep into this green bar, but there's no pattern there. Well, Alex, why do you call an automobile an automobile? Oh, that's what it is. That's just right out of the textbook. You know, just go Google what a Bear Island reversal is, and that's what it is. AMBA 44 and change, big gap at no pattern. This is my favorite. No, not AEO, ANF. 21 bucks. This could be 30-minute high. All right, Alex, that's fine. We can, unless you're just trying to be funny. But let's just move on. 24.50. Now I like this one a lot earlier, you know, provided it doesn't gap too much, but it's run another 50 cents here. I have it in my middle window here, ANF. But look at this weekly. Let's see if the gap just to 24, then it could have run another $2 or so. That's a beautiful retest W, reverse head and shoulders. Hey, trader, your drop-down menu, please. The trader's asking about the stop on IAC. We're not officially in IAC, so let me take a look. Dollar Tree gapped up. Okay, this is another bullish one. I'm going to put this on my window. Um, um, I don't remember this one official. Did we short it on today's Wednesday on Monday? I don't remember. I used to. But if you're shorted, I would stop half, half over yesterday's high. I mean, that's a bullish 15-minute. That was in the weekend letter. All right, I'll go check because I don't have it in my open spreadsheet. But I'll go look later. AMBA, we talked about already. Look at this bearish gap ripping. Wow. Urban 3010, nothing, gapping down, but it's working on filling it. But I like this for a 30-minute low. I'll keep an eye on this. Neo gapping down $8. Hey, trader, don't tell Alex, but here's another Bear Island reversal. Kind of a more complex one because there's too many bars up there. But gapping down to 8 here. This is an island now all by itself. Yeah, don't tell him. Bravo Julia, gapping up. Okay, here's another bullish retailer. Yeah, there's a few retails. Though 59.76. Though is a bearish gap. That's 30-minute low candidate. Tyson, okay, now I'm into my carryovers from yesterday. This is a put spread candidate or a 1, 2, 3. If it closes like that. Oscar India, this was carryover from yesterday, looks great. BLL looks great. If the market internals were not overbought, I would have given this into the close. And now pre-market we have a sell set up at resistance, so can't do it. Dan, this is my company. See if it can get over a prior day's high. Whiskey Bravo. There's another Bear Island reversal. Wow, 3 of them today. BGNE. Now I like the weekly, and so if this can turn out to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and get over these highs, of course, it looks like it can easily go to 160 and change. Target carryover from yesterday. KSS, that's a very bullish 15-minute chart. Hey, Ladon. Uh, this would have been a great 1, 2, 3 also, but look at that 15-minute chart. We might get a day trade out of that. Looks great. Um, yeah, no, John, I don't have it in my open alerts. Um, so, oh, you know what? It is there. My bad. We got the two. Okay, the stupid trade station keeps, not saving my page. But yeah, we have a call spread, the 220, 230. All right, so thanks, trader. So I would move the stop over this pivot, 216.38.